Hi everyone, so I'm doing my John Maxwell. I finished another section of the book today, and it's still focusing on the same law, the law of connection. So the leadership thought for today is connection starts with the heart. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. So again, John Maxwell is focusing on Rehoboam in this story and how his actions were basically, they weren't what the people needed. Instead of listening, he was lecturing. And instead of helping them, he was concerned about his own power and about his own position. So he didn't serve the people, and his office basically was meaningless because he was more interested in lecturing than he was in listening. And then instead of projecting image, project integrity. So you'll find that in a lot of cultures, including in Canada, people are more worried about the image and they are worried about how things look. Maybe if Credit Suisse had cared more about their integrity rather than how things looked, maybe their investment bank wouldn't have closed. And maybe all the applications I sent out wouldn't have been sabotaged. Because I hate it when I put in an application and people contact me and I can hear them saying, oh, that's what Eric was saying. Eric was saying this. It really upsets me and it puts me off working with them immediately. Because I have nothing to do with Eric or his wife or his family, and Eric has nothing to do with me. So the minute I hear that, even if it's a perfect company for me, even if it's something where my goals and my aspirations and my dreams could have been fulfilled, I just say thanks, but no thanks, and I disclose the harassment that I went through. Because they should know. I mean, if he's getting feedback on every application I put out in Toronto, and if he's being kept in the loop, there's no need for it because I have nothing to do with him or to do with anybody at Credit Suisse. And then the third point John Maxwell makes is instead of demanding control, demonstrate compassion. So you'll find that in a lot of situations, whether it's in a family situation, in a marriage, or in a friendship, there are certain relationships where instead of people showing compassion, they are demanding control. They want things that this is going to be done our way. And if you don't do it our way, it's going to end very badly for you. But look at what God does. God brings about COVID. God brings about monkeypox. He allows it to happen because ultimately we are not in control. I mean, I don't have a job, I don't have money, but I stick to my faith because that's all I can do. It's been that way since I was a child. I've never had any money to do the things I want to do, to go the places I want to go. So when I was in England, I loved it because the flights were cheap, the travel was cheap. I might have been on my own, but I met a lot of people going on the day tours or going on Contiki tours. I had a few friends that were there at the same time as me. Whereas over here, I mean, all I can do is go to the church, come home, apply for jobs. That's it. What can I do? If I'm completely broke, I've paid every last cent I have towards my rent. And when I get that next bit of money coming in, that will also go towards my rent until that rent is paid up. Because the most important thing for me is to have a place to live. Everything else I can deal with, but my rent is the most important thing. So that's how I live. And it's not like I haven't helped people, I do. But if people don't want to help me financially, I can't control that. All I can do is what I can do. And then the fourth point John Maxwell makes is that instead of glaring at others, gaze through their eyes. So that's something that in customer service, it's something that is taught to us. And it's taught to us in our religions as well. It's always about do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think for us, the extremity of emotions depends on our spectrum of what we've gone through in life. Because like I said, for me, I had no compassion for the customers I was dealing with. I didn't have any compassion for them. I didn't have any empathy for them, nothing. Because to me it was like, you know what, like I don't even feel sorry for you, because you have the money to buy a jersey that is $600, $1,000, $5,000, and we're working in minimum wage, we're doing a job for you, and you don't give a shit. You're just gonna scream at us and shout at us and yell at us because your thing didn't come, and we're trying to help you. So I didn't have any compassion for them. And I used to tell the managers that I don't feel anything for them. And they're like, yeah, but you have to try to put yourself in their shoes. I'm like, you know what? I lived without water for 7 days. We didn't have water. There was no electricity for 7 days. You turn on the tap and the water coming out is all black because it hasn't been cleaned. And you're telling me to have empathy for them. So they're like, no, you have to. So eventually I faked it. I just used to sit and listen to them and fake it until I made it, until I could feel something for them. But I didn't feel anything for them because of how I grew up and because of what I went through. I didn't feel anything for them. I would say like, oh, why don't you walk like I had to walk? Walk for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then see if you have any compassion for somebody that didn't get their package. When we're going to replace it, and we're going to send you another one, and all you're doing is screaming at me and shouting at me and yelling at me and calling me every name under the sun, abusing me. I didn't have any compassion. So when you talk about emotional intelligence, it really is about perspective, because my perspective, coming from growing up in Zimbabwe, growing up poor, and coming to North America, is not their perspective. And if you try to explain to them, they'll say, oh, don't give me your condescending attitude. Or they'll tell you, oh, I'm an educator. Or, you know what, I've known this person for 1,000,000 years and I really was waiting on that gift. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I'm going to get you another one. But there's only so much I can do. So anyway, that's about how we can apply these principles. And you can pick up the book, you can read it. My John Maxwell focus is to help other immigrants, just the way I did with my mentoring with TRIAC, with HRPA, and I've had many opportunities to do that. But now I'm trying to build up this part-time so I can get speaking engagements and help other immigrants, because it is very hard. When you come here and you're coming with a completely different mindset to people who have grown up in America and Canada. And believe you me, there are very, very poor areas in America. You might not believe it, but they are. If you just go on YouTube and you watch, just Google documentaries on poverty in America. There are people living out of their cars. There are people who don't have food for themselves and their children. And it's the same in England now. It's the same in Canada now. There are very few jobs that are being created at the top where people are earning good salaries and good wages. Most of them are at the bottom. And most of them are like people like me. You get to the top, then they let you go. Then you start again, you get to the top, then they let you go. And I have no idea why they don't keep me and why they don't find a good job for me, because it's their loss. It was the same thing with banking. I was very passionate about banking. It became like a dream for me. Every time I got an opportunity, I went back, hoping that, okay, this time they'll make me permanent. This time they'll renew my contract. This time it will be different. But what they did, they used my relationship with Jason Peel against me. I don't even talk to Jason. I saw him once after he came back from his trip in England, he was walking in front of me with his manager. So I greeted him. Oh no, she got that job because of Jason. Jason Peel must have got her that job. Oh yeah, it's Jason. Jason doesn't even stay in touch with me. Even his wife, Jen, she doesn't stay in touch with me. But people just make up big stories that, oh, I got my jobs because of Jason. I never got any of my jobs because of Jason. Not one. Not one of my jobs did I get because of Jason, or because of Jean de Gagne, or because of Teresa Bowman, or Warren Bell. Not one of them. I registered with agencies, and those agencies placed me in those companies, in CIBC, in HSBC, in BMO. Oh, that's her, that's Jason's assistant. That was donkeys years ago. That was like in 2007. I have not supported Jason since then. You phone Jason Peel and ask him, did you help her to get her jobs in all the banks? He'll tell you no. I got my own life, my own career, my own family. It was a long time ago. They should phone Jason and ask him. Because me, I'm tired of it. And if I do get a job in banking, it won't be because of Jason. It won't be because of him. So, I mean, that's just the way, they call Toronto Hogtown. Because that's just the way it is. It's like the people at the top all know each other, and they think that I'm earning a big salary. They think that I'm doing well. But the reality is that I'm not. Financially, I'm not. So anyway, that's how we apply the principles, that's how we take them, and that's how I have had workshops where I've been a facilitator at the Air Canada Centre, and I've helped immigrants there. I've been somebody who's controlled the time that speakers had to speak. I've introduced the speakers. So I've used my skills in different ways. But now I keep focusing on trying to get that big paid job, because I'm tired of living like this and living broke and living in bankruptcy, a state of bankruptcy, because that's what it comes down to. If I don't get that little bit of help from the EI or from somewhere, I have no money. After working my whole life and being an exemplary person, that's what it comes down to. So if they want to call Jason and ask him, please do it. Please do it, because I'm tired of it. So I read this poem today. It's from John O'Donohue's Benedictus, a book of blessings. And it's called For Your Birthday. It's written for a godchild by the name of Heather. Blessed be the mind that dreamed the day the blueprint of your life would begin to glow on earth, illuminating all the faces and voices that would arrive to invite your soul to growth. Praised be your father and mother who loved you before you were and trusted to call you here with no idea who you would be. Blessed be those who have loved you into becoming who you were meant to be. Blessed be those who have crossed your life with dark gifts of hurt and loss that have helped to school your mind in the art of disappointment. When desolation surrounded you, blessed be those who looked for you and found you, their kind hands, urgent to open a blue window in the grey wall formed around you. Blessed be the gifts you never notice, your health, eyes to behold the world, thoughts to countenance the unknown, memory to harvest vanished days, your heart to feel the world's waves, your breath to breathe the nourishment of distance made intimate by earth. On this echoing day of your birth, may you open the gift of solitude in order to receive your soul. Enter the generosity of silence to hear your hidden heart. Know the serenity of stillness to be enfolded anew by the miracle of your being. I thought that was a beautiful poem, and today is the anniversary of Our Lady's apparition at Knock Shrine. So I thought it was a fitting one, because faith is renewed in different ways, and Our Lady always chooses not the rich, she chooses the peasants, she chooses the uneducated, she chooses people that nobody would think of. And it's the same with my becoming a spiritual director. I am the last person that anybody thought would become a John Maxwell speaker, a spiritual director, work in banking, get high-powered jobs as a consultant. It's all God's blessing. And I pray every day and I say, please God, hear my prayers, have mercy on my life, spare my life and help me to fulfill your plan for me. And please bless me financially so I can give people back their money, and so that I don't have to go to jail because I can't pay my debts. Because in Canada, they can put you in jail. If you can't pay your debts, they can put you in jail. And it's very, very upsetting for somebody like me who has worked hard and done nothing but good for this country. It's very upsetting. That is why I am prepared to leave and go to England, not only to be closer to my brother and other family, but because if I can get a good job there, I don't want to stay here and be enslaved to debt. It's not my dream. It's not anybody's dream. Unemployment is horrific, and I have gone through it for many, many, many years.